So tonight we're going to show you a method of creating some nice soft cinematic lighting, and that is with book lighting. Welcome back guys, it's Byron Phillips from byronphillipsmedia.com, and like the intro has alluded to, we are going to be talking about a method called book lighting. Book lighting is a fantastic way to get some nice cinematic soft lighting on your subject. It really provides a great fall off. The only downside is that there's one or two caveats that you need to be aware of when creating this. For instance, the footprint is quite big, so it's not a small setup. The second one is controlling light. You have to be very careful how you control the light. And the third issue is me being a bit of a dumbass and forgetting about reflections. So let's pretend that I did this all for you, and I did that deliberately, and this is a fantastic learning curve, and you're with me on this, aren't you? You're with me because that was me being a dumbass, but it's fine. So let's go back earlier on today, and yeah, we'll show you exactly the step-by-step methods that you can create this and avoid. Well, we're not going to show you how to avoid that because I fucking done it, pardon my language. Let's go. Right, so we are just gonna list through some of the components that you need. You're gonna need 3 normal light stands, and you're going to need an extra heavier light stand for the main key light. You're obviously going to need a 5-in-1 reflector, and we've got a PVC plastic pole there. That's going to go across the top, and that's going to be used for the actual diffusion. Now we've got some extra black duvetine or fabric, and this is going to help with actually controlling the spill of the light. And then obviously we've got the reflector, the Bowen's mount, which will go on the light itself. So there's a few things that you need to get it done, and this is the bare essentials that you really need to get this sorted. Right, so this is the area in which we'll be setting up, and the reason why it's going here is because where I sit to do most of my videos is in that position. So what we want is, we want the actual V to go like that and not the other way. And the reason why we want it that way is because if it's pointing the other way, so the V points towards the window, the open end will actually spill light onto the back wall. And this is an issue that I had the last time, and that was a mistake I made the last time. So we won't be doing that this time. So quite literally, rather than the V pointing this way, the V would be pointing that way. So the back end will be here, and then the light, any reflected light at the back, will be spilled out by here. And then we shall show that now. So we're literally going to get this set up so you can see. Right, so just to give you an example of the size of the frame. So this is exactly how the frame will be set up as one part, and then this will be the angle that which this is at will be to the side of my face. Now I might change the angle, but I might not have the room to do it as well as I'd like, and the reason being is that when you're doing a book lighting, it's quite a big footprint. So just to give you an idea of the initial steps. Now the PVC pipe that I've got, that is actually, I can't remember how long that is, but in order to get those rods through the actual, that was drilled, so that was a relatively simple setup. Alright, so this is the second part. So we've got the main frame up, and we've got the reflector in the V position. So I would be standing where the light is, and then as the light hits this area, it will reflect through the diffusion and then go on to my lovely face. Obviously this will more than likely have to go closer depending on if I go with a single layer diffusion or double diffusion, but we will find all that out later when we actually use the light meter and expose the image properly. So there's that bit. So as you can see, that's why, so we got this in the V, and that's what I meant about the open end pointing towards the window, because any reflection from there will come out this way as well, and it hopefully won't bounce all over the wall, which is the issue I had last time. And that's where the black, that's where that will come in handy. Right, so let's crack on. Right, so just for the next part, so that we are controlling the light, what I've done, that black fabric that I've got, it's been draped over the top so that we don't get any light expelling up onto the ceiling. And we're gonna, on that side, it's draped down as well. And then we're not going to worry about the back end, because there's going to be fabric on the light covering the light, so no excess light's going to come off, and any light will just be absorbed into this light, the fabric that's going to be here. So we're going to be controlling the excess light. So this is all clamped together, and we have done that before we put the diffusion on, and it's just easier to manage it that way so that we get it exactly how we want. And everything that we've got is clamped down with those big clamps that you can see. So hopefully this way it all gets controlled. Right, so that is the double diffusion. I've decided to go with the double diffusion. Now the clamps on the top are the same clamps, they're just literally holding the black duvetine and the white fabric. So all I've done is just literally clamp it and fold it in. Now on the right hand side, the actual fabric is actually being wrapped underneath the black fabric, and the black fabric's being wrapped over, so the black fabric is actually overlapping, and it's all clamping everything together. That way then it should minimize any light that might leak through the front, fingers crossed. So the next thing we need to do is get the light in. Right, so now we've got the light set up in. We've got it set full power at the moment, just to highlight the fact that the light is turned on, and then that will be lighting up, obviously, Darth Vader there. Now what you will notice is, I'm not sure if there's a slither of light that is just coming through, and it's coming through from that top corner. So we want to control that. So appropriately, the dark side, Mr. Darth, is going to be our lovely assistant. Right, so we now have Mr. Darth in place, and with our good man doing his job, that is gone. So you now see that that bit of the light has been controlled. What you will notice with a booklight is that you get a lot of ambient light, like a lot of spill. So controlling this, if you want a light that only focuses on a particular area, the booklight is not it. However, if you're doing an interview or a talking head or any YouTube setup like yourself, which is what I'm shooting tonight, this will be perfect. And yeah, we'll just jump on over to the light now. So as you can see, it's on level 6, which is 100%. The light itself is actually pointing that way, and it'll be bouncing out this way. Now the reason why it's pointing that way, I'm not sure if I can show you, if I continue to move this, see, we get a bit of spill. So I got a little bit of control, so I can point it anywhere here, so I can adjust it later on to find out what the best range is, or where the best point to actually reflect this from. And the reason why you want to be careful of that is that If you have any reflective surfaces, say for instance you're doing this in a place that has mirrors, that's going to bounce and that's going to create unwanted light somewhere else, so you want to be careful of that. If possible, you can completely flag that area off or put more fabric. It might be better if you try and flag it off. But yeah, so that's how it works. We bounce in here, it goes through the double diffusion and hits my beautiful gorgeous face. And this is how it will look, obviously not because it's backlighting me at the moment, but this is roughly the distance it'll be for later on tonight. So as you can see, that is effectively what backlighting is, and it should give me a nice soft fill on the face as my main key light. And the reason why I want that, it creates less shine and it's a much more pleasing image, and especially if you're dealing with people like myself where they shave their head. And what I've been finding is that when I've been using just the dome, even though I've been double diffusing, I'm still finding that you get a little bit of shine, and I don't really like it. And if I can't control that for myself, then how do I expect to control that for my clients? So in essence, I am the perfect candidate for this. So I hope that was useful. We'll get back to me later on tonight.